Good morning, y'all. Marlene Bush, stitching by the lake. Can't get comfy here. Today is Saturday. It is August something, 8th, August 8th. And it's a beautiful sunshiny day here. Started out nice, about 70, but the heat index is going to be up around 100 today. The humidity is at 97%, which is normal for Arkansas at this time of the year. We had a great week this week, though. We had a couple of really nice, cool days. It rained and cooled things down, and it was very pleasant. But we're back to summertime. What's been going on with me? It's been a long time since I've made a video, longer than usual, I know. And that's just because, like most people, I've been busy. You'd think during a pandemic, when you can't really go anywhere or do anything, that you wouldn't have that much to do, but that's not the case. And you'd also think that if you're retired, you'd have plenty of time to do everything you're supposed to do, but that also is not true. It's summertime, and I'm doing some canning. I've told y'all that before. I canned, let's see, what did I can this week? Plum jelly and a chicken soup base. I can, I've told you before, when I have a rotisserie chicken, I cook the bones in a slow cooker with some vegetables. And then I take all that and strain it, and I keep the broth. And usually I just can the broth. But this time I added more vegetables to it, some carrots and celery and onions and garlic, and canned that so that this winter I can just grab a jar and add some rice or some noodles or something like that and have a nice chicken soup day. And I also dehydrate. I don't know if I've told y'all that before, but I like to dehydrate food too because it's great storage. So right now, a friend brought me a sack of apples and a sack of oranges, and so I sliced those up and put those in the dehydrator. The apples I dipped in cinnamon sugar. They're not finished yet, but we've already had a couple. They're like sinful candy, not apples, just candy, that's all. Anyway, they're good. So I've been doing that kind of thing, and yard work, of course. There's a little bit of that. I don't do a lot of yard work. I'm allergic to everything out there, but I do a little. We actually got out last weekend. We drove up to our son's, which is about 3 hours from us in the northwest part of the state. He and his family had just moved into a brand new house, and I wanted to see it. So we just drove up there for the day. It was a long day for us. We don't normally drive like that anymore. Well, I do. Jerry doesn't really. But anyway, we went up for the day, so I got to see my grandchildren who live up there, and that was nice. It was a nice day. They live in a beautiful neighborhood out in the country and have a little bit of land, and it's quiet and peaceful out there, so we really liked it. And honestly, that's about it. I've gotten a haircut. We've been to the grocery store a time or two, but mostly I get deliveries. That's it. We don't do much else. We haven't been out to eat, I don't think, since February. We don't go out to eat a lot anyway, but I know we haven't been since early March, and I really think it was the end of February. We did pick up a hamburger a couple of times, but that's it. That's it. I'm cooking a lot and way too much. In fact, I told my kids this morning, I sent them a text because I made biscuits and gravy for breakfast, and I used real cream in the gravy. If I don't stop cooking like this, I'm not going to be able to get in any of my clothes. Anyway, all right, let's talk about cross stitch, y'all. First of all, I had a giveaway last time, and it was for this Quaker sewing tray. Brenda Gervais. That's the pattern. I had 2 of them because y'all know I do that sometimes. And I used the random comment picker. There were 162 individual comments, and the winner is Judy Gibbons. And Judy said she has a reproduction farmhouse with a wraparound porch, and that this would be perfect in her home. So I'm looking forward to sending that to Judy. I'm not sure where she lives, Judy, be sure you send me your address, and I'll put my email address down below in that box. I think it's in the south because she mentioned Hurricane Katrina and azaleas, and so I think she must be down in the southern part of the United States, maybe Louisiana. So I have a lot of finishes. I even have a few FFOs to show you. I have a couple of gifts that I received this month, but I'm going to start off with I Give Up. I think this was a Mania start, Frosty's Night Out by Blackbird Designs. I love this pattern. I love it. I don't care for the colors. So I was going to change the colors, but what I should have done was changed fabrics first. This is the start that I have, and it's murky. You can tell that, which is what they called for. But I can't help it. Every time I look at murky, I think Halloween. It just doesn't work for me for this particular pattern. So I'm going to give up on that one. I'm going to put it aside, and I'm going to stitch it on something different with different colors. So it's a temporary give up. I don't know if that's even a term, but it's a temporary give up. I decided I would try to work on a couple of my whips for Jolly July, the Christmas whips that I had. And so I had a couple of finishes on those. One is Cranberry Christmas. I had stitched this top part and the letters. That was where I started. And it's using sulky threads. You know, I've heard so many people say they love this thread. I didn't love it. But it's a really pretty effect. I didn't love stitching with it, but it's a really pretty effect, I think. I have not a clue how I'm going to finish this. Because again, I said this last time, these are not my colors. That green is definitely not my color. However, when you look at the pattern, just look how pretty they finished it. So I have some of this ticking. I know that I have some of that. I don't remember. That's upside down. Sorry, y'all. I think that's red, but I also have some green, I think. But I don't think the green would work. And I can't tell what color the rickrack is. It probably tells me in here. But I'll look it up before I start working on it. And someone asked me a question about the backs of my pieces. All of my pieces, almost all of my pieces, I back with a lightweight fusible interfacing. The lightest weight that you can find. I don't know the name. It's a Pella, P-E-L-L-A, that I get at Joann's. When they have a sale, I buy a bolt. And you iron it on. And the reason I use it is because it gives body to my stitching, number one. It peels off very easily. I don't know over time if it will or not, but that's okay with me. And it also keeps any threads from pulling loose. Sometimes if I get a little quick with the scissors, I might cut my threads pretty short on the back. And I'll stitch along on something else and look up and one has come loose. And I watch for that when I'm stitching, but I worry about it when it's finished and it's laying around and getting moved from spot to spot. So I put an interfacing on the back. You may not want to do that to yours. Lots of people don't want to, and that's okay. But that's what I do. I'm also working on Little House Needleworks Hometown Holiday Series. There's, I don't know, 13 or 14 or 15 of these. And I am doing mine, I'm doing them on one piece, but I won't be able to get all of them on one piece. I had started, well, first of all, I'm using this Petite Point fabric, I think is what it's called. And the first one I did was the tree farm. You've seen that before. And then I did the train station. And this time I did the firehouse. Look at that little dog. Isn't he cute? And a fire hydrant down there. I am adding a few little strips of snow along the bottom to kind of tie these all together. And I think I'm going to go, I know I'm going to go at least 4 wide. And then I'm going to start on a second row. I haven't decided yet. I think the second row will be, the bakery and the needlework shop and that sort of thing. The next finish that I have is a Brenda Gervais Peppermint Pals. This was a kit that I bought. No, it wasn't either. I bought this pattern at the Midwest Retreat last fall. And this is my finish. I don't remember how much I had done this time before I started. The top, I think, and I think I finished just the bottom part. He is just adorable. Cute as it can be. Again, I don't know how I'm going to finish this one either. She has it in a pillow. I have a lot of Christmas pillows, I think. I never can remember exactly how many until I get them out at Christmas. And I probably won't finish any of these Christmas ones until we get closer to December. Another big finish. This one's taking me forever and a day, but I don't know why. I just keep putting this one back to do something else. The Loose Feathers from Blackbird Designs. These 3 patterns were a gift from a friend of mine, from Judy. And I had finished Summer, which is this one. And I have now finished Autumn, which is this one. That big old bird, he took a while. This is where I am. Let's see. Well, let me do it like this. There we go. And I have one more to go. I have Winter. Blackbird Designs patterns are so pretty. And I think this one's going to be my favorite because I love the poinsettia and the colors that they're using in this one. So maybe I'll do this one a little bit quicker. It would be nice to have it finished by Christmas. My winter, maybe January, but I don't know if I'll manage that or not. Let's see. I'm going to skip that because I'm confused about what pattern I used. Oh, there it is. Okay. Sorry, talking to myself as I normally do. This was a Mania piece, I believe. It is called Gather Flax and Gather Thistle. And it was a kit from Stacy Nash. I don't know if I've told you about this linen. The others I know I've mentioned before, but this is a 32 count Belfast linen in natural. And I don't have a clue what the threads are. I don't know. I undoubtedly had a problem because there's supposed to be 3 colors of threads in here. And so maybe it didn't come with the threads. I just found some and they don't have a name on them. And I used one blue that was very variegated. And then I picked up a light peach to do the centers. It's only those 2 colors. That's all I used in this one. And this one definitely will be a pillow. I have a piece of fabric that I want to back this with. Gather flax and gather thistle quick before the north wind blows. That's a sweet little piece. Okay, then again from Midwest Retreat, I had this pattern. This was part of our retreat package. Crinkle Crinkle, and I can't get it out. Needleworker's Accoutrement. And then it had this needle book on the back. And it, if you may not be able to see, but it opens from up here. This is the back, this whole long thing. And this bottom piece folds up. There it is. There's a picture of it. The fabric was provided for that. Well, I did something I have never done before. I've heard other people say they did this, but it just hadn't happened to me. It was bound to at some point. I aligned the fabric wrong on my hook, and instead of stitching lengthwise, I stitched crosswise, which meant it was not going to work for that kind of a needle book. So this is what I have stitched on this one. I've done the alphabet and the flower. I'm not going to do the Bargello part, and I'm going to make the needle book by folding it this way. This will be the back, and this flower will be the front, and then it will be plain on the inside where the fold is. Sometimes things happen and you just have to regroup. When I was in education, we used to say monitor and adjust. You just have to monitor and adjust. So that's what I did. FFOs. This pattern, Rise and Shine by Scissortail Designs, is one that Kathleen from Kathleen's Trodden Trail gave me. And I stitched the one with the two roosters. I'm still going to stitch this one, but I haven't done that one yet. And I made this little pillow. And it needs to be out in my on my coffee table with the rest of my 4th of July pillows. Can't see, but it's got blue rickrack on the top and the bottom, but not on the sides. I don't know why I did it like that. I just did. Because I wanted to. And then, if you remember, I was stitching another Blackbird Designs. In Full Glory is the name of this one. And I started out on a fabric, I think it was maybe one they called for Natural. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it was turning out. So I stopped, but I didn't take that stitching out. This is what I stitched, and this is what I did with it. I had stitched the flag and the eagle and the fireworks and the little bit of a border. So I just cut that part off and put a couple of wool hearts on there and some buttons and framed it. And I think it's great for a little patriotic piece. So I'll be looking forward to putting that one out as well. And then I restarted it on a different fabric. I don't have that written down in here, so I don't know what this is. And I framed it in this. This frame was not exactly perfect, and so I put a piece of a rough, raw ribbon across the bottom here, and I kind of like it, but I'm not crazy about the frame either. So I'll put this out for the rest of the summer till we get through Labor Day, but then I may take it apart and paint the frame. Y'all tell me if you think. I don't think red is what I want, because there's already this wide band of red right here, and I think that might not work. But I think the frame needs to be a little darker. What do you think? And then Little House Needleworks. I had 3 kits. The first one I did was Land of the Free, and I framed it in a blue frame, and I liked it a lot. But I decided, and I have 3 frames like that, 2 more besides the one I used, but this one didn't look right in the blue frame. This one is Home of the Brave. And so I decided to do it this way. This is a wooden board, an old wooden board that I got at the thrift shop. And I covered the board with this polka dot fabric and then covered mat board with my stitched piece. And I glued those two together. Now I backed the stitched piece with something, I don't remember what, but that's what I glued so that I don't know if I have glue. I don't think I have any glue on the actual stitching piece, but I might, I don't know. And added just a bow. And I really like this. And I have an easel, a really dark burgundy easel that's close to the color of these threads that I think I'll sit that on. I like that. I like the way it turned out. And there's one more of these kits, Long May She Wave. These came with the fabric and the threads, and I've had them for years. And so I'm hoping I get this third one done by next summer. And then I have one more well, actually I have two more, but I have one more I'm going to show you right now. Hello Summer by Plum Street, and I left off the Hello Summer. Y'all will remember that. And I left off that eagle. I didn't like him. I like eagles, but I didn't like him. I don't know why. And I made a pillow, and I used the white pom-pom like she did. Used, I think, about the same fabric. And this is how mine turned out. And I love it. I do love it. But I'm thinking this part right here, because there was an eagle there. And I didn't add anything. I'm thinking that needs something. I've tried a bow. I've tried buttons. I've tried, I don't know, 3 or 4 things. But I didn't find anything that I thought worked there. Everything just kind of took away from that. It has to be something summery or patriotic, but like there's watermelon right here. Next time I go to Michael's, which heaven knows when that'll be, I'll look around and see if I can find something to add to that piece right there. It'll do like it is. I just would like to have something to add to it. Okay, I got a couple of really sweet gifts. People are so kind. And I'm not... ooh, there's an ant on there. Y'all, we've had a terrible problem with ants at my house. They got in my pantry. It was a mess. In my canning pantry. I wash all of my jars. After things are canned, I take the lids, the rings off. And then I wash the jars in soapy water before I put them in the pantry. But apparently, I didn't get everything off of one of them, or one of the jelly jars, because I went in one morning and I just was covered up with ants. So I had to take every jar out of there and wash them all again. I had to call the bug man. He came. Jerry sprayed first because it was on a Friday, and then the bug man came, and we have redone everything. I have 2 pantries. Well, I have more than 2 pantries, but I don't have a big pantry. I just have had to make do with space where I could. Anyway, everything came out of my pantries. The shelves were wiped down. New shelf paper was put down in some of them. Everything was put either in Ziploc bags or in jars. I have run out of jars for storage. The half-gallon jars, I can't find those anywhere, and I use a large number of those. Everything goes in them. Flour, sugar, cornmeal, all of that stuff I keep in jars. After I have frozen the flour and the cornmeal, I freeze for at least 3 days before I store it to keep out bugs. But anyway, I'm still finding a random ant here and there in the sewing room because one of the shelves in one of my closets has some extra cases of canned goods. I buy at Sam's, so if I get green beans, I'll get a case, and I don't open it until I'm out in the everyday pantry. And I also have a shelf that I put over here where I'm putting my dehydrated foods and My canners are over there, and also my extra sugar and flour. Long explanation anyway. I have a problem with ants. But my friend Pat sent me this wonderful bag. Look at that. And look at the bright colors on the back. They just make you smile. I love these vinyl bags. Love them. And she sent me the bag, and she sent me 3 patterns. A Blackbird Designs, Pumpkin Farm. A Little House Needleworks, Faith. And the New Prairie Schooler, Santa. And also a Bluebird. A little needlemonger. And I've thanked Pat, of course, and I told her that I had 2 of these patterns. So I'm going to be giving away those 2. I did not have the Santa, so I'm going to keep him. I would like to get him stitched before Christmas, but I don't know. I'm working on other things. We'll see. But I'm going to give away today on this video, not today, but on this video, Pumpkin Farm, because I already have Pumpkin Farm by Blackbird Designs. And if you're interested in this pattern, if you will comment below and just say something about pumpkins. I don't care what. I like pumpkin pie. I grew some pumpkins this summer. My house is pumpkin colored. I don't care. Whatever you want to say. And I'm also going to give away this Little House Needleworks Faith. And if you would use the word faith, if you're interested in this pattern, then at my next video, I will draw for these 2. And you can only win one, but you can win either one. If you're interested in both, you may use those 2 words in either of them. And then I got a sweet gift. I was supposed to have a stitching meetup with Shauna and Donna. They were going to come to Hot Springs, and unfortunately, we had a little minor glitch. A neighbor was tested positive for the virus. And so I felt like we needed to be isolated because I had visited with her walking on one morning right before she tested. So they sent me a gift. Look at this wonderful patchwork bag. So cute. So cute. And what a great size for smalls. Perfect size. And also this little bag to keep my scissors and threads in. Perfect. I love mushrooms. When I was much, much younger, and I really mean much younger, like in my 20s, I collected mushrooms for a while. Had all kinds of little ceramic ones. And look at this. How cute is this? Look, it's a little tea towel. And this has Velcro, so it can go around like the stove handle. I'm assuming that's what this is for. Because I always have one hanging right there or on my dishwasher or somewhere. So, it's really cute too. And then another little bag of goodies. Sweet card. Very sweet card. And I also got a card from Cynthia Brew, Stitching in the Light. Oh, shoot. Dropping things here, y'all. Look at this little card. How sweet is that? And this, I think it's some silk that she dyed. I saw her, she used it on one of her pieces. She made a bow. So I'm looking around for which piece I can use that on. And she sent me these little stamps. I don't know, people who can do this stuff, print these off, y'all amaze me. I can hardly even print a picture anymore. I don't know. Printers, are every time I turn around, we're having to get a new printer. It doesn't seem like they last very long. Okay, I have one more finish that I'm especially excited about. Scattered Seed Samplers, Catherine Dickinson, aged 9. I waited to show you this one because I have 3 or 4 samplers that I've stitched over the last year or two, and I know you've seen them, but they're just such fun to look at. I thought I'd show them to you again. This one I did with the Call for Colors, and it's on 32 count. Picture this plus legacy. Is that not? These colors just speak to me. I love them. Love them. Love this piece. Just love it. One more time. Isn't that pretty? I need to get all these framed, but you know, that would mean going and spending time looking for frames or having them framed, and I've not done this. Now, I don't remember the names of these I'm going to show you, because it could have been 6, 8, 10 months ago that I stitched these, and I've shown them to you before, so if you really, really need to know, you'll have to go back and find them on one of my videos. I have a couple of red work ones. I know that I changed this one and put my name on it. It's just alphabets. But if you love looking at samplers, it really won't matter what the name is. This, I think this was a free one. I'm pretty sure that was a free one. And here's another red one. This was from Shakespeare's Peddler. It was a kit with special cashmere type threads. I hope I'm not telling you wrong. Y'all know I dream stuff up sometimes, but I do know I stitched one like that. I think it was this one. And then this one I did pretty recently. It's a Catholic sampler. Also red. I love red work. I used to do red work embroidery all the time. I still have a lot of it here in some pillows and things like that. That is the last of my cross stitch. I did buy another new pattern for an apron. I have looked and looked for this pattern and couldn't find it. It's an apron that you don't have to tie or button. You just slip your head in this part and your arms through here, and those straps go across your back. So I'm going to try to make that hopefully this week. That's my next project. Okay, that's all the stitching I have for you, and I've done over 30 minutes now. I usually try to stay around 30 minutes. And my husband's right outside over here. He's got the weed eater going, so I can hear him. You may not be able to. So I hope that y'all have had a wonderful month, and I hope that school's getting ready to start. I am praying for all of our folks going back to school, our teachers and support staff, bus drivers particularly, being on the bus with all the children. Praying for parents who've had to make that hard decision about whether or not to send your kids back or to keep them at home. One of my daughters is the director of the virtual academy at her school, and over 25% of their students have elected to do that. It's quite a large school, and it's a lot of kids. So I know a lot of parents are making that decision, and I know that's so hard for you all, and I hate that for you. I'm also praying for a few of our stitching friends who have not been well during this time. Still having to go to doctors and having tests run, and you know, the normal things of life that keep going on. So if you need prayer, I'd be happy to pray for you. You can leave it in a note, in a comment at the bottom, or you can send me an email, and I would be happy to do that. And I would be happy if you would pray for me as well. It's not easy being almost 74. Yeah, y'all, I'll be 74 in 2 months. and changing everything in your life. Those of you who are younger might have a little bit less difficulty than those of us who are older. We're set in our ways and cranky. We try not to be, but we are. I miss church, miss going to church. We're still not back. Our church is still not open, but we watch online. We miss the contact, though. So we'll be glad to get back when it's time, but it's not time yet, obviously. So, have a good school startup month. I am so excited that fall will be here before too much longer. Normally, I love the summertime, but I'm just ready for fall now. I'm ready for some cooler temperatures and some leaves changing and sitting on the deck in the cool of the morning. That'll be fun. So, y'all have a good month. See you soon. Bye-bye.